We're really excited to share this video with you guys about Burmese breakfast because over our 3-week stay so far in Myanmar, we have had these really amazing Burmese breakfasts every morning. And it was actually our first time trying Burmese food. So as you can see, the setup is really nice. Like, this wasn't put on just to film. These are the types of breakfasts that we get every morning at the hotel that we're staying at. So as you can see, we have the obvious things like coffee and orange juice and fruits, but we also have the Burmese breakfast, which is like the meat of the entire thing. So these particular noodles are called Shan noodles, and they are like a rice noodle with chicken and some type of tomato-based sauce. And you get pickled vegetables as your garnish, some broth. We got omelets here, so we've got the entire setup. Everything that we've had has been so good. This one, I actually got really lucky to choose to film this day because the Shan noodle dish is my favorite that we've had so far. So in the hotel's dining area, they actually put art from local Myanmar artists on display. So this particular piece is showing iceberry, and we were told that it is from a famous local artist in Myanmar. And iceberry, when we first came into the dining room and we saw this painting, we had no idea what it was, but we've actually gone there a few times now in Myanmar Plaza to get some fruit drinks and snacks. So
this breakfast, in order to actually have it, you have to get up kind of early, especially for our standards. So the breakfast is from like 7 to, is it 9:30?
yeah, 9:30.
Yeah, 9:30. We usually don't get up until like much later than that. We're night owls for sure. So our entire time here in Myanmar, we've been getting up early to make the cut for this breakfast. And it has been pretty hard.
But worth it.
Yeah, but it's worth it. And one really good thing about it is that if you're staying here in the hotel and you want to kind of go out for the day, then having the breakfast here makes it to where you don't have to worry where you're going to get your food for the day. You can kind of fuel up and then go out for the entire day, and it's just nice to have that.
Now, something kind of interesting that we do is that the coffee they have out with like sugar packets and creamer packets, but I really don't like using the powdered creamer, so we pick up milk from the grocery store and just bring it down with us every morning to use in the coffee. That's worked out well.
So on that note, I think my voice is a little raspy because it's so early. So I'm going to cool off with some orange juice. This orange juice is good. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you was our experience with the eggs. So this is the egg. This is what it looks like. Pretty standard egg. Now, we noticed that when we come down in the mornings, we have to just say kind of what we want. And it's just like, do you want the noodle dish? And do you also want an egg? And they give you two varieties. One is with the yolk being runny, Well, at least that's what we call it. And then the other one, if you want it like this, without the runny yolk, we typically always have to say omelet. And if we say omelet, this is it. Now, the other thing I want to show you, because I'm not sure about how you would achieve this with chopsticks. Can you see here? But the way that I like to kind of cut my egg up is I just take the spoon from the soup and I kind of just tear it like this. And I hope this is appropriate. So if there's another way that you guys do this with chopsticks, tell me in the comments. I always try to do this really quickly in case someone's watching, just in case I'm doing it the wrong way, but it works. So then once I have the egg cut up, I can just easily grab hold of it like that.
Now, in Southeast Asia, and I think even more broadly speaking, Asia in general, it's pretty common to have like rice and noodle dishes for breakfast. But something that we are totally not used to from back in the States. And at first it was like, noodles for breakfast seems like a little strange, but now we like absolutely love it. And you know, it's kind of almost like breakfast and lunch together, because it holds you over because it's so filling until later in the day, almost dinner time, besides like with a snack. So we've come to the custom of having noodles for breakfast pretty easily. I forgot to mention is that part of the garnish is sesame seeds, so it just adds like a little bit more texture. And the noodles are pretty spicy, and I think one reason that this is my favorite dish is because, as we showed, it's got the pickled vegetables for the garnish, and it's just like really like a tangy, spicy dish. Really good. Definitely my type of preference.
Bites. The bites I like egg and noodle.
If you are a longtime viewer, then you know that a few months ago in Singapore we ordered dry wonton noodles and we had the broth on the side. And because we were so inexperienced with authentic Asian food, we thought that you were supposed to pour the broth into the noodles, and we did that on camera. So if you want to make fun of us, then go check that out, because quite a few people did in the comments.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were doing. We've learned our lesson by the time we've gotten to Myanmar, and we realized that the broth on the side is to cleanse your palate as you go when you're given dry noodles. They're dry for a reason, apparently.
Talk about the chicken. In the dish, we have these little bits of chicken.
When you said you were going to talk about the chicken, I thought you were going to talk about the chicken.
I don't even know what you just said, but it sounded funny.
I feel like I'm going to talk about the chicken. In this dish, we got to use little bits of chicken.
Let me see if I can find another little bit of chicken for you. Oh, here's one. So, another major mistake that we made in that last video is that we didn't have proper chopstick etiquette. We've never really used chopsticks before, you know, except for like at the little restaurants that they have back in the US. And there you don't necessarily have to have etiquette if you're at your home using chopsticks. So when the first time we came out into public and started using chopsticks, we made major mistakes. So what you see here is the appropriate way to rest your chopsticks or set them down when you're not using them. What we had done in the video is stuck them into the food, and they were sticking out of the bowl like that. That's a no-no.
I think we learned that gesture was done in some cultures. Can't remember if we heard Japanese or Chinese, but that it's done in some cultures at funerals to remember or recognize the dead. And so it's just a big no-no to do that with your food while you're eating. So we made that mistake, and we got called out on it, thankfully, because we don't do it anymore.
All right. So from our understanding, it's just like in general etiquette across all of Southeast Asia is you typically would not stick your chopsticks where they're pointing out of your food. You would lay them down like this. So if you are from Myanmar and if you're from Myanmar, let us know what the proper way of setting down your chopsticks is. Is what I've said about poking them into the food and sticking out consistent with you guys as well with Burmese culture? So just let us know in the comments.
And I think it's actually more broad than Southeast Asia. I think it's probably a thing for all of Asia, because the thing that we heard about the culture was like either Chinese or Japanese, you know?
Oh yeah, you're right. Whoops. Well, it seems like somebody was just telling us that like Southeast Asia in general, you're still gonna do it this way. You're not gonna have them sticking out. But yeah, the reason why I did that, or the reason why we did that, is because it's typical for us, at least in the U.S., to just like take our fork and kind of just leave it in the food if we're not using it. And if you have a bowl, of course, then the fork would be pointing upwards.